Episode 7 of our Monday Night Wars series. I think, JJ, you can clarify here. We haven't been here since Stone Cold Steve Austin did the famous Bang 316 for that was 2 months ago, October the 19th, 1998. Where have we all been?
Yeah, what have you been doing, Jack? Just, I don't know. Something happened. You've been a little bit absent.
Jagger. I've been in a hospital, unfortunately, not for all the right reasons. It's better reasons than others. But however, we've been focusing on NWA, but we're taking a detour to 1996. It's the November 25th episode of Monday Night Raw. This is when it was still an hour. I think they taped 4 1-hour shows on the bounce, and that's why they were being trounced in the ratings. But Lissy, this is one of your peak fandom areas, right? You've got Shawn, you've got Bret, got a lot of young stars just kind of finding their way. But Shawn and Bret is pretty much what the show was built around.
You know, I'm always excited to watch this period. Shawn, Bret, our guys. Mm-hmm. This was before Stone Cold became a super big star, before Triple H and The Rock really, took off. So this was that precursor to the Attitude Era. So one of my favorite times, and as you say, my peak fandom.
Peak fandom, yeah. This is, I think, just 8 days after Survivor Series 1996 from the Garden, where Shawn got beat by Sycho Sid, or Sid Vicious, whatever it was called at the time, for the WWF title. Yeah, we'll do that. That's fine. So it's kind of a bit of a transition. You see, this is finally where the new generation starts to become the Attitude Era. And then I think before the end of 97, they were going live at least once every 2 weeks. I think this film on the Monday and then the Tuesday. But this was where they were getting trounced by WCW. Nitro was, I think, best part of 40 months old, and the NWA was white hot. Piper had just come in as well. You've also got the Luchadors. So Raw's finding his feet. So we're going to load that up. November 25th, 1996, 1 hour show. JJ, tell us where to watch it.
Tell us where to watch it. This is on WWE Network, Raw episode 5764.
Alternatively, for y'all on another platform, Lissy, help us out.
Sure. If you're watching on the Cock, it is WWE Monday Night Raw, Season 4, Episode 46, November 25th, 1996.
For those who watch Raw currently, this is what it looked like when it used to be good. Happy days. Right, and we're going to click it on 3, 2, 1. Lots of pyro to start with. Ooh. And Vince McMahon with his voice like this.
Straight in to Bret Hart's iconic music.
Come on.
As a kid, right, I can't put into words how much I wanted to get those shirts. In my head, stand front row. So
cool.
Thank you, Bret. I've tried to wear a jacket like that, and you know what? It doesn't work on everyone. Really doesn't.
No. It's just for Bret. It's the combo of the shades, the long, dripping wet hair, just everything.
And you'd say as well, part of that, the Fink in the background. Bret Hitman!
Oh, yeah.
There's a young Mike Chioda there.
Is that Chioda?
I love so. Chioda. I miss him.
No, Mike Chioda.
I think JR was still being the manager for Fake Razor and Fake Diesel. So I think we get heelish JR at this time, who was rocking the turtleneck with a jacket, which I think Eddie Hearn brought back in 2019. So there you go.
I love that the King always hated Bret Hart, and he really sold, even after their rivalry ended, he still continued to sell it.
And we've got the King of Hearts. I thought that's Mike Chioda. We've got Owen with Clarence Mason, one half of the tag team champions with a Bulldog.
Slammy award-winning.
I want Owen Hart to take those sunglasses off that little girl. That would have been such a great heel move.
You've been watching Dax Howard the last couple of weeks.
In what sense?
Interaction with
AEW. Yeah.
Nobody else does it anymore. MJF is like a rule to himself.
Yeah.
But we need more type like that. I love heels acting like that.
But you have to.
About Dax I heard on Wrestle Culture, they put on the news that apparently he was knocked out for like the last 8 minutes of his match. Right?
Good sources have confirmed that, yeah.
I thought it was a weird ending. It was a letdown. It was such a great match, though. FTR versus the Lucha Brothers.
That fucking Ray Phoenix has to get his shit in. So I've heard, allegedly. Citations needed. But Bret, what a way to start the show as well. If you're flicking through the channel, you're going, well, I put on Nitro Raw. You see the Hitman come out, dressed in his finery. You think, I'm going to give the show a chance.
Oh, I'm watching this. This is a great beginning.
Get out of my face.
What's the current sort of backstory here? I mean, obviously, I know that they're brothers, but why do they hate each other so much right now? Like, what's kind of going on right now?
So, looking at the background, so they faced each other. There's a great story in early '94, late '93. Where Owen got jealous of Bret and wanted to beat him. Bret beat him in the main event. No, in the opener on WrestleMania 10.
Yes.
Beating Yokozuna in the main event for the title. They had a steel cage match in '94 at SummerSlam. I think it was in Edison, New Jersey. And then it was kind of cool, but Bret's like the biggest returning babyface.
Yeah.
Owen's a heel. He's with the Bulldog as tag champs. There's no real backstory apart from one's a bad guy, one's a good guy, and they've got a bit of history in the brothers.
Well, this is 3 years in, though, because remember, Jack, they had the Hart brothers versus Jerry Lawler in his Survivor Series in 1993. So it was all the way from back then that like Owen is saying Bret is selfish and like, just pointing toward it that way. So I think like they started on that big family element. And they really built Bret up at that first pay-per-view. And then they gave Owen that platform to hate him because of that.
And by the way, that's not my hero. JJ's been ill the last few days, so we'll let him off.
Leave him alone.
You sure?
Wait a minute, you don't have glasses on either.
No, I've got contact lenses in there, so I don't really have an excuse. And this is just like a week or so after Bret versus Stone Cold in that iconic Survivor Series match, isn't it?
Love that match as well. I thought someone asked on Twitter a couple of weeks ago, what would be your 3 matches you would have to watch? You can only pick 3, you can watch them. And I picked that as one of my 3. Because
really?
Austin and Bret had worked with each other, because I know Bret had left after doing the honors, as you should, to Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 12. Shawn said never put him back over. That's a different story. But during the international tours, Bret was still the biggest draw in the company. And he was wrestling Steve in like South Africa and India and Europe. So they had great chemistry. And it was a perfect comeback. Tried to do that with my little brother all the time, where he's got you and you kick off the settee and pin him down like that. Yeah. Oh, big time slap. You don't win matches of roll-ups in '96. Behave.
You know what we should do? We should do like a Mount Rushmore of wrestling matches, and we should put up our top 4 matches of all time, the 3 of us, and see what the fans think. Not right now. We need to think about it and come back to it. But I think that could be a cool episode one day.
Bret Austin, WrestleMania 13, Danielson Strong, 11:05, 2005, Ring of Honor.
Flair not now.
Flair Steamboat.
Ruining the future episode, but sure.
Is that like Cedric now? We'll do it. Save it for the preview.
Need the content.
Need the content.
Come on.
I mean, realistically, it has to be like a Flair Steamboat, Bret Austin. There's not much else.
Have you? You must have heard the promos for Cedric's new book. Is that something that you're going to invest?
I think we kind of have to, don't we? Being a Cedric mega fan, I was actually going to design him a T-shirt, but I don't know if it would be welcome. Big back body drop, and the mega fans will forgive me. I was actually going to do the pamphlet because he said something last week saying, "Oh, there you go, the classic WWF. I'm watching the camera in the back shot."
To be fair, I've got my I'm watching here and I'm looking at you guys here. So you see, sometimes I'm like this, and then sometimes I'm like this.
Yeah, I think me and JJ are watching it on our computers, and Lissy's got the nice setup in the background with the
she's got the laptop at her desk here, and then the big screen on the wall there.
Just doing my best, guys.
That's why she's the big dog.
That's why numbers go up as soon as she's here.
I'm gonna say, in terms of the trio, she's definitely the Roman Reigns of the Shield of the three of us.
Yeah.
Sorry, JJ, but you're Seth. Sorry.
Wait, that makes you Ambrose?
Yeah, I'm fine with Dean Ambrose. New father,
Okay.
you know, bit weird.
Okay.
Don't really have a fringe
That's
anymore.
Too.
Hey, JJ,
Yeah, you've got Ambrose's hairline locked down. That's fine.
Oh my lord! I knew this was gonna come.
Honestly, the child has got more hair than me. He's got very blonde hair as well. I'm just unfortunately for him, he does turn ginger. I know from history. But there's nothing wrong with redheads at all. Bret would always take a great turnbuckle bump. Look at that grimacing. It's nice to know as well that we talked about off air, all the stuff we talked about with Full Gear has kind of been, all the reports I've read have kind of thought, it makes us feel like, maybe we know what we're not talking about. MJF versus Darby was brilliant. Eddie versus Punk, Jericho match. No idea. I've gone back, and watched. I need to PayPal you the money, JJ.
Oh, the worst part of the Jericho match. I don't know if you actually ended up watching it, Jack.
I watched it on double speed.
There's a spot. Okay, you need to watch it. There's a spot where Jericho goes for, is it the code breaker? It's a lion salt. He goes for a lion salt. He springs onto the ropes, and Junior Dos Santos is supposed to punch him. And as he's running towards the ropes, he's going, Junior! And he sort of stands on the ropes for like what feels like an eternity, waiting for Junior to realize what's going on and punch him, rather than just springing and get. Did you notice that, Lissy?
Yeah, it's
so funny. He's like screaming at him, like, punch me.
Punch me. I mean, I think he was called out a little bit for that, but I mean, he was doing it for the right reason. Like, obviously, he's working with someone that is newer in the ring, and it shows.
Junior and Arlovsky obviously don't have that experience. And actually, like, it was a fun match. Like, I found it entertaining, and that's what it was there for. And I think that you had a really good mix of matches across the whole card. So, I'm not going to blame them for, two guys who've been in the ring in terms of wrestling ring for about 20 minutes in their whole life for missing a spot in a 20-minute match. But I just found it amusing.
I can't get over. I've gone back and watched because I was so confused by it at the time. Cody and Pac against Andrade and Malachi Black. I'm thinking, what the fuck even is this?
Yeah, I didn't really.
It was just moves.
I didn't really enjoy it.
And then Cody went and deleted his Twitter on Monday.
Yeah, and then he said he was going to do that. He said about a week ago, I'm going to delete my Twitter. It's just too toxic, and I'm just going to move my social presence over to Instagram. And then he did it, which fair enough.
If it's not a work as part of a heel turn again, he has to.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Cody. Everyone seems to be like, he's going to do this or he's going to do that. I don't even know.
Big elbow from the Hitman.
And I'm sort of past caring now, like with the whole Cody stuff. Like I'm really not that bothered. Like if I never.
So you're over it too.
If I never saw a Cody promo or a Cody match again, I don't think I'd be like, oh man, I miss that guy. Like I just don't really care that much.
Yeah, I'm over it.
I like him. I think he has some good matches. I remember the match that he had against his brother, like at the very start of AEW. I was like, it's fucking incredible. But like, if he just disappeared, you wouldn't have, arenas full of fans chanting for his return.
Yeah, I think. What do you guys think of Cody just kind of assuming that backstage role, and if he's going to be like an authority figure or whatever?
Stone Cold's ruined your question. No, I think they has to be involved because nobody gets heat like Cody.
Yeah,
what's happening here? Sorry, guys, this doesn't make sense. There's a Raw match that's ended in a DQ.
Dun dun dun.
Very unusual.
Never
We didn't get
seen
a
that
clean
before.
finice. Yeah.
Let's track
if
it
it was
because
a
this is again
surprise
just
roll
3
up,
weeks
I'd
after
understand.
Steve has so Austin has came in, ruined the match. It was a good match as well.
I mean, Mike Chioda just lost control, didn't he?
I'm trying to work out why again that didn't really go to plan because Brett's kind of moved to put the sharp jaw on and sees him, and then he still goes up behind him and smacks him with the chair. Yeah, can do better. But this didn't really go anywhere. Just thinking with Bret and Austin, in terms of like Owen and David.
Well, I think it kind of did though, because think about it shows that like that little sympathy that they still had, and then of course we know the following year they get back together as the Hart Foundation.
Oh my God! They execute. Let me just track this because this is phenomenal. If you want
go ahead.
proof that we
Go
still
ahead.
haven't got the Attitude Era, this is execution. Who would be? I thought he was. I used to get ECW tapes from. God, there used to be a kind of like digital music exchange or something in Huddersfield.
Yep.
One of the few people in town that I'd get ECW tapes, and the FBI were hilarious. And I didn't realize at the time Tracy's mother is actually like some guy from like Georgia or something who's very southern, pretending to be.
Doesn't fit in at all.
Speaking of like tape trading, did you guys read the Eddie Kingston?
It was magnificent.
That he did.
Absolutely magnificent.
So cool. Like, I've loved Eddie Kingston as long as I've known him, and I've only known him about a year since he arrived in AEW. Basically, like I never knew who he was before then, but I was so pissed off they didn't beat Miro. Still, fuck Bryce Remsburg. Like the guy was awesome, and that just like took my sort of fandom to another level. Just love the guy.
Do you think the AEW missed a massive trick not putting Eddie, just giving Eddie a title shot against Kenny?
No, because he wasn't going to win.
Was Eddie ever going to beat Punk?
No.
Was he going to beat Miro?
No, but I don't think there's a point in just like giving them a title shot for the sake of a title shot. I think they were building to Eddie and Moxley versus Punk and Danielson. I think that's what they were building to.
Yeah. I could have seen
that. That makes sense, surely, right? Because you had Eddie versus Punk, and we would have had Moxley versus Danielson. I think that's what that would have been the post Full Gear angle. But obviously, you know, Moxley is
away.
Yeah, he's away.
I don't
want it to come across like I don't want it to come across like I'm pissed off at Moxley because he's, you know, made us miss out on this amazing angle. Fucking fair play to him. I think it's massive that he's done this. And I think just to say, like, the situation that he's found himself in is a really fucking difficult one. To say, I'm in this situation with my career, I'm in this situation with my family, but I've got to do what's right for me. And I think that the fact that he's done that will probably have a big impact on a lot of people that follow him.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully, you know, a positive impact, because I think alcoholism is probably like one of the biggest addictions that anyone who's like a male wrestling fan will probably have to deal with in their life. And, you know, hopefully if there are people out there that have this situation that they have to deal with, they'll find strength in the fact that, you know, a hero of theirs or someone they look up to or someone they respect has gone, yeah, I need to do that. So fair play to him. I don't want it to seem like I'm going, damn Moxley for making us miss out on this epic feud, because massive props to him. That's a ballsy thing to do, to admit that you have an issue and to deal with it. So fair play to him.
And it probably shows the severity of it, given the time and given that he was probably going to face Danielson in a big pay-per-view match, and they were moving house. Like, I don't know whether you follow Renee on Instagram. They moved house last week.
House on her own with a newborn and a dog, right?
Got a dad and a dad's mate up. Yeah, you're thinking, wow,
no,
it shows
like there's never a good time. It's just it's really admirable that, you know, he's like at a peak in his career, and he's, you know, man enough to say, I need to step back. Like, I need to put my family first. So it's really, really admirable.
Yeah, 100%.
we've just seen the execution. Going back to the actual show, we've just seen the executioner beat Freddie off Joe Floyd. Now we're going to San Antonio, Texas for the Heartbreak Kid. Just lost the WWF title.
Shawn Michaels was Jose Lothario. This we've seen him before, right? He came out to the Heartbreak Kids music last time.
Is there a more 1996 sofa than that one? Hideous. We had that sofa at my house. My mom had that sofa.
During '96, Jose Lothario, I think, trained Shawn originally, obviously from Texas. He would always come out to his matches. He came out the WrestleMania 12 entrance was Jose Lothario coming out in the first place. Everyone going, the hell's this? And then him pointing into the skies, and Shawn obviously zip wires down. But he was a big deal in Texas in the 70s and 80s. He was part of the territory system. He was a big babyface in World Class, South by Southwest, which was Joe Blanchard, Toddy's dad's territory. But yeah, I think this 8 days ago, that was the only time Shawn lost the title clean, right? He gave it up. I'm thinking like belts. He gave up the Intercontinental title when he got beat up by the 13 Marines. 13 Marines. And then he lost his smile in March. And I'm pretty sure there's another belt. I'm pretty sure they said, like, of the 4 first titles he won, he only actually lost one of them.
I hate you because I know you get so much pleasure from he lost his smile.
He lost his smile.
The look on your face every time you say it, like you're so excited to point it out. We know.
I'm just in real life. I'm thinking if I go to work, JJ, you go to your employers. John, we need you to do that next week. I've actually lost my smile. I don't fancy being here anymore. All right, then you won't get paid. No, I still won't get paid. Oh, right. Well, that's not going to happen. Vince was besotted by Shawn. I don't understand. Even when he finished it, if you listen to JR's podcast, he signed a 5-year contract in the middle of '97. That just so happened to expire around the summer of 2002 when he came back. During that time, he was on a $500,000 downside guarantee and was paid every time.
Yeah. But at least he came back in 2002 and had one of the all-time matches in summer 2002, right?
Thank you, JJ. Thank you.
I would have not stopped watching by then. However, I've got a new account which is No Context Corny, NOCONTEXTCORNY, No Context Cornet.
You did it.
There's lots of things on there where Jim Cornette buries Shawn Michaels. You know what? You found God. The only people that seem to find God are when no one else, no mortals, will reach an olive branch for you. There's no one here, so I've got to go upstairs and find someone that's going to allegedly save me. Shawn, you're a dick then, you're a dick now. That's Jim Cornette.
Is Shawn a face here, by the way?
Yes, baby face.
Right, because he's sitting there next to a guy who's got heart problems, and the guy's going, Jose Lothario, having heart problems, and Shawn's sitting there rolling his eyes when this guy's talking about heart problems. I'm going to mute myself so I can drink some water and cough a lot because
he didn't like him coming to the ring with him. He hated it. And they thought, again, that was a reason to try and get him over as a babyface. Look at the old man next to him. Bless. Like, you can't, if somebody brings their granddad out, they're immediately a good guy, aren't they? You see a guy in the street with his granddad, like, no, it's nice fella. He hated it.
I can't speak against my man, so I'm going to shut up.
Your man?
And just let you have it.
Oh, Shawn, sorry. Right, okay.
What else do you think I'm sorry about? What's wrong with you?
Oh, he's really laying into him. He doesn't like Sid.
He's just going in right now. What is happening? He looks like
the entire thing makes me want to get a No Context HBK page. It sounded like what I imagine my toddler's going to say to me when he's 3 years old. I don't care. I'm going to take more risks. Yeah, you just broke your arm then. I don't care. I'm going to jump off the settee. Right. Okay. Thanks. This is all teeing up the rematch of the Royal Rumble in San Antonio. They rented the stadium. I think their idea was get the big stadium and then work out with affiliate afterwards. So hence why they had, there you go, 71,000 seats. They had Sid win the belt at Survivor Series and then build up the rematch 2 months later. That should have been Vader as well, but Shawn was unprofessional with him and kind of buried him to Vince.
So we got Rocky Maivia coming in here, and this is.
Oh, whoa, that ain't Rocky Maivia. Right? Oh my God. That is Sonny, right?
Come on, of course it is.
I mean, Sonny 1996, just all the way alive, as the Nature Boy would say. Yeah, nice segue as well. Shawn to Sonny. What's the weather like there, Lissy? Any sunny days?
Always sunny days.
Hitman.
Hitman. Oh my God. It was terrible.
I was just, I was listening to an episode of What Happened When with Tony Giovanni, brilliant podcast, especially for like 80 standard beer. And they're watching some old, I think they're watching when Vince is getting off with Trish in front of Linda. It was the first time Tony had ever seen it. He went, "Come on, can I ask you a question?" Yeah, sure. You probably can't answer this, but how much side coochie do you think Vince got on the job?
Oh my God.
I mean, he must have, right? All the stuff you keep showing me, he's getting off with Trish and Tori and Stacey Keebler.
He just, it was just too much after a certain point. Like, you can't book yourself into all of these spots with all of the hot women kissing you and you're the boss. Like, it's just too much.
We are still very much in the new generation, aren't we? With Todd Penningo introducing karate fighters.
These were so cool. Did you guys have these?
I can't say I didn't know.
These weren't a thing in the UK, to be honest with you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You can tell as well immediately when they're sharing these two, the rivalry or the animosity between Sonny and Sable.
I was gonna say rivalry would indicate there's some form of competition.
You know, they just absolutely despised each other.
Oh my God, I can imagine the cat-like behavior backstage. Must have been unbearable.
I'm really struggling.
Foul play by Sonny. Oh man, she had chewing gum on.
Are you okay, JJ?
Not really.
Oh, what was that punch? JJ, give us a time check for those out there watching along with us.
28:07, 8, 9, 10. Oh, why am I so ill? It's not COVID. I just want to let
because
you
you're
know.
a sick guy.
You're worrying that it was COVID. It's not COVID.
Okay, good.
I had this about 7-8 weeks ago. Again, I remember playing football one Sunday and I didn't do anything for 2 weeks. It's awful.
Who the hell is
my
this
God,
guy?
who the hell is that?
Salvatore.
Sincere.
Who even is that? Is that Mike Rotunda?
They used to have the dumbest gimmicks.
So they're immediately trying to get him over as like, this guy's the future.
This is so weird to me because this is what, like, okay, I didn't see this when it happened, but this is what they do with like Roman Reigns, right? They were like, okay, this is the guy that we want to get over. We're just gonna fucking push him to the moon, and the fans go, I hate this. We're gonna boo him. And they go, no, but he won the Royal Rumble against 30 other men. No, we hate it. We're gonna boo him. No, but The Rock said he's cool. No, we hate it. We're gonna boo him. And this is what they did with The Rock, and the fans obviously like resisted against it, didn't they? And they were booing.
Well, I think The Rock, he won a match at WrestleMania 13. I think he beat someone like the Sultan.
This is a week after his debut, right? Like he debuted at Survivor Series 96.
Yep.
So we are literally 25 years of The Rock right now.
And so, The Rock did this run for about 7-8 months, and then he got injured in around, I want to say like May, June time. And then he came back 2 months later from injury and was immediately healed because the last 6 weeks of his run, there was just signs everywhere. Die, Rocky, die.
But you can see instantly. Like, I mean, whoever this guy is, they put him in against, like, he's not very good. And Rock is just like,
Sincere.
Yeah, but think about this, like
he's quick, he's flashy, like he's a good looking guy. Like you can see why they want to put everything behind him, but you can also see why the fans are going to turn against it when it's that shoving down their throats thing, isn't it?
But then, but that's how the business changed, right? Because this was still transferring the new generation to the attitude where people just thought, I'm going to keep doing stuff. If I don't like it, balls to you. And by the time 3 years later, when Kurt Angle debuted, he was a heel. He debuted as a heel, and Kurt said to Vince, everyone's going to love me. You know, Olympic over something. God damn, pal, everyone's going to absolutely hate you.
Yeah.
No. I'm a great guy. Yeah, exactly. Everyone's going to despise you.
Yeah. But that was so genius, like that Kurt, and they took that and put it into the show. Like Kurt was so annoyed, like, why don't you love me? Like, would literally pick up the microphone in the middle of the match and go, why don't you love me? I'm doing these amazing moves. I'm this amazing guy. I'm a gold medalist. Why do you hate me? I'm going to need to take another break.
Well, yeah, but like, think about this Rock too. Like, they were just like playing him up to be like the grandson of, you know, Peter Maivia, and, you know, they were really pushing that like generational thing, and he didn't really have a gimmick at all. So I think when he like got injured, like you said, Jack, and he comes back, he's more himself, like, and he's more like edgy and like in control, and like that's what he needed to get over. So obviously we know he got over, but he needed some character development. Whatever, you know, this little version just wasn't cutting it with the fans at the time.
And you'd say as well, given this period, just because, like Captain Lou Albano and on his Survivor Series debut, you have JR telling everyone, this guy, he's brilliant, his dad's this, his granddad's that. And you've got Sonny on commentary. I'm here to watch the Rockies. The more people tell you, it's a bit like if someone you've got to watch this show. It's brilliant. So you've got to watch. Yeah, look, will you just shut the fuck up? No. I don't care. Right. I don't care.
Jack, is it you that hasn't watched Breaking Bad yet?
It's me.
I watched a series of it and got bored.
Yeah,
it's me. I've not seen it either.
Yeah. Oh, it's such a good show. But this is the problem. The more I tell you it's such a good show, the more you're going to sit there and be like, "Oh my god, it's going to blow my mind." It's not going to blow your mind.
I have to want to watch it for myself.
Yeah, you will enjoy it. But yeah, it also it's funny that Jesus Christ, my voice is going. It's funny as well.
So, just look.
Take a break.
It's funny as well. They were like, he's going to be a bigger star than his father and his grandfather, and they were right. It just took them a long time to actually get there.
It is Sonny's giving Rock some serious blip. What's he doing?
That was him about to do the people's elbow like 3 years before he actually realized what the people's elbow was.
I almost wanted to go for it.
I think did we mention this before? Like the people's elbow was just like a gag that they did on a house show.
Oh my god, his finish is a shoulder breaker.
Like,
oh wow, Sonny, good lord.
Sonny was very impressed. Okay.
She loves it. I mean, this is reason enough to hate him, isn't it? If you're someone in that crowd right now, you want to sleep with Sonny. And this guy.
Well, you know, maybe Shawn was watching the back of that. That's why he decided to try and hold Rocky back all those years. He thought Sonny was giving him the eye.
Oh my lord.
He won't say anything. He listen, like Bret really looked after Rocky because he knew his dad and in fact the families knew each other.
There's a guy right behind the commentary table in a prison jumpsuit holding a 6-year-old girl. Like, that's a bit weird.
Hold on.
Sable's got no top lip.
Mark Mero. What a guy.
What is happening with you, Jack?
I've not watched 96 WWF in a long time. Right, can you explain it? Who's Little Richard? Because I know Mark Mero's was called.
You don't know
Johnny
who Little Richard is?
No.
Little Richard is an iconic musician from the Motown type of era, 1950s, 60s, played piano, was huge. And he used to like wear long wigs, have eyeliner, you know, wear a lipstick. He's Mark Mero.
Oh, so that Mark Mero mustache was basically Little Richard, right? I get that.
And can I just admit something, because I didn't know this until recently?
Go on.
Okay, so there's a list of wrestlers that growing up, I did not know that they were not black. And Mark Mero is on that list.
Is Mark Mero black?
No.
Mark Mero's not black.
Yeah, I don't understand what you just said there. You
Guys,
did not know we're
look
not
up
black.
pictures of him and his family. It's astonishing what a tan and some hair dye can do for you.
Oh, you thought he was black, but he's not.
I did, yes.
Okay, I understand.
He looks like he's had a lot of plastic surgery.
Yes. Him, Scott Hall, Randy Savage.
I genuinely thought Scott Hall was Hispanic.
Yes.
Chico Reza Ramon. He's a guy from Maryland.
What is the...
What is with tassels in 1996? I don't get this.
Yeah, we should probably have a conversation off air about this.
Why no one can get sued?
I have some questions, but I don't want to ask them when 27 people might be watching.
Okay, fair. We'll chat offline. Sorry, guys.
This is for my information as well. Like,
this is the main event. Am I right?
Let me see. There's
the main event on the November 25th episode of Monday Night Raw is, and that's Hunter Hearst Helmsley, the snob from Greenwich, Connecticut. So this is presumably Billy Gunn versus Mark Mero to be #1 contender for
the Intercontinental.
I want to say now Triple H's IC title. He beat Mark Mero for the belt 3-4 weeks ago with the help of Mr. Perfect, who was supposed to get into an angle with him, but left shortly after to go to WCW.
Well, do you remember that? Remember Hunter used to have a different girl come out with him every time, and that's how they introduced Sable, because Sable was one of his girls.
Of course,
and
yeah.
Hunter lost. He was yelling at Sable backstage. This was when they first brought Mark Mero in. They were building him up, and then he stepped in for Sable, and then they paired them back up together because, as we know now, they were actually a married couple, which is amusing in itself.
That was a really impressive move from Mero, by the way.
It was, except he got him in the knee right in the face.
Wow.
Yeah.
Famous!
Billy was still in his smoking gun attire. He hadn't become Mr. Ass yet.
Yeah, this was,
what are you guys' opinion on Billy Gunn's ass? Is it a good ass or a bad ass? I don't really think it's all that good to base your whole gimmick around.
You are.
In terms of asses. Like, I've seen...
I agree with him. Likewise, I'm an ass man.
Yeah.
I always took it that way, that that's why he referred to himself as that. I didn't know it was about his own.
You forget, it's what JR points out all the time.
Just think, if you're going to base your whole gimmick around it, you should at least have yourself have done a few squats and have a good ass. But, he's wearing these jeans. He's not filling them out, let's be honest.
JJ, do you squat?
God.
Say again?
You squat?
I have done some squats.
I have done some squats.
I'm partial to the odd squat, yes.
Do you know what? The most, okay. I've got a 2-year-old. I take him to the park. He wants to go on the seesaw, right? Now, he sits on one end of that seesaw, right? And he's saying to me, sit down on the other end, right? Now, if I sit down properly on the other end, he's going to fucking fly into the air. So I have to essentially squat up and down for as long as he is entertained for. And I swear down, there has been days on a Saturday when we've gone to the park and I've had to do that, and I've woke up on a Sunday morning with really not being able to sit down comfortably because I've had to spend so much time genuinely squatting up and down on a seesaw.
I'm really not sure what to make of this.
There's a story for you.
So you're trying to say that your house is well stocked with Sudochrome?
Of course it is.
Yeah. Of course it is. Too young. Right, I've not seen Sabre in late '96. She looks younger, like 2 years later. Am I just? Is it that just me? You can argue that with Billy Gunn as well. Maybe it's because that hairstyle. I know I'm not the man to be commenting on people's hair, given I have none, but that's a bit. I mean, that's very like early mid-90s. The best way you can say it. Boy band hair.
I was gonna say it's very boy bandish.
This is Nick Carter, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, small package. Awful small package.
It's like almost a bowl cut, but a little bit longer.
I think I mentioned on these podcasts before. In the summer of 2006, Bryan Danielson got himself over as being called Mr. Small Package, and would beat guys from nowhere with it. It was incredible.
Oh, I thought you were making a comment on something else.
No. I'm saying that was an awful small package there. Jeez, you get your mind on the gutter.
Sorry. But
You've been ill, I know. You're not.
Since we're on boy bands, I mean, Nick Carter, who is your favourite of the Backstreet Boys? Mine personally was AJ.
AJ. 100%.
I don't know the names of any of the Backstreet Boys.
It was AJ and secondarily Kevin.
Oh, okay. My second was Brian.
Okay, no, it was AJ and Kevin. Like, I loved AJ. He was plastered. So on one wall, it was Shawn Michaels. The other wall, it was like all Backstreet Boys. There was a lot going on. It was very busy.
I'm on board with this. One of the few
I was just doing Lissy from last week.
When I saw that, I died.
Wow. I'm just giving you the history of Starcade here. What is Billy Gunn doing here? Was that him dancing like Little Richard? Is that how Little Richard dances?
I don't know what this was. That was weird.
Yeah. I mean, he's a former professional bull rider. He should be fine cornered like that.
Up there.
Wow, we're having a break there right in the middle of the main event.
Good working punch.
Well, there's literally like 2 minutes left of the show, and they've gone, let's look at some karate fighters because this main event sucks.
Listen, they needed to have the commercial, okay?
Here we
they
go,
have to pay the bills.
Hey, would you like me to read the card on the other channel for Nitro?
Say again?
Sure.
Do you want me to read you the card for a 2-hour Nitro that was competing against this head-to-head?
Sure.
So the opener was the US Championship quarterfinal match, Lex Luger against Arn Anderson in Forza, when the double count out. Luger put Anderson in the torture rack as both of them were outside the floor. DDP beat Disco Inferno in 2 minutes. Steve Regal beat Tony Penn with a Regal stretch.
Hold on. There was a tournament match and there was a double count out.
Yes.
So who advanced? No one?
Neither of them.
Oh, wow. So, okay. Right. That seems dodgy. All right. Crack on.
Eddie Guerrero beat Conan in 9 minutes. Again, another quarterfinal match.
That sounds like a great match.
The Big Boss Man, Big Bubba, beat Rick Steiner. Rey Mysterio beat Psychosis in 12 minutes.
That sounds like a great match.
Jeff Jarrett against Alex Wright. Jeff Jarrett won with a figure 4 in 5 minutes. Mega Barbarian, the Fist of Fear, went to a no contest with Harlem Heat because the NWA just bombed the ring and beat everyone up. Oh, wow. Like Jake the Snake looks so old here in 96.
Oh, yeah.
It sounds like
oh, Jake.
It's a classic Nitro, isn't it? Like a bunch of great undercard matches and then a main event that's just
big main event with all the names. Do you know I clip up a load of these old Monday Night War shows, and it's unbelievable. Sorry, let's go.
I think after this is when they had Jake start wrestling with the shirt on.
Shots fired.
Pal, take your shirt on, please. Oh.
I think after this is when they had Billy Gunn start fighting with like tighter boxers, tighter underwear, and no jeans. Make it seem like there was something happening there.
So it's gone to a TQ finish, and Mark Miro and Jake the Snake stand tall in the middle of the ring. And that's Raw from November the 25th. 1996. JJ, what do you make of the show?
I think we could have just done the first 25 minutes and then just stopped it after that. Like Bret versus Owen was good, and then you saw, went to a no finish, which kind of what you expect from a Raw. The Shawn Michaels promo, sort of promo / interview, it was a bit long, but it got to the point in the end, and he actually had some fire in it. I quite enjoyed it. It wasn't a face promo, no matter what any of you guys trying to tell me that he's a face. He's not. He's a heel. But it was a great promo.
Attitude, pal.
And I quite enjoyed a little bit of Rocky Maivia. I don't know that guy that he was against, Salvatore or whatever his name was. He was a bit trash, but it was nice to see him at the very, very start of his career. Anything after that, the sort of last 15 minutes, just could have just cut them off.
My first impression was it's severely lacking in star power.
Yes, yeah. I get
you got Bret and Owen with Austin and Bulldog the first 20 minutes, interview with Shawn, and then
But you say that here it's lacking in star power. But if I say to you, The Rock, Stone Cold, Bret Hart, Billy Gunn, Owen Hart, Shawn Michaels.
It wasn't The Rock then. Billy Gunn was at the stage of his career.
I know that. They're at their early stages, but it takes time to build them into something, doesn't it? But you are right. Right now,
saying with WWE, you got to trust the process, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, look, but this is at the beginning of a new era when they're trying to build these stars. So you kind of have to let them do that.
It's a point in time. You're right, JJ.
It's a point in time. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
For me this week.
I mean, I don't have the ratings off my hand, but I wouldn't be surprised if Nitro blitzed them. Like you pointed out there, great match in the middle. You got Regal, Eddie and Conan, Rey Mysterio against Psychosis.
Yeah.
Sting interfered and helped Big Bubba beat Rick Steiner. And just in terms of names, Arn Anderson and Lex Luger in the opener. That's if you're flicking through the channels like, oh, I know him. He's been on TV for a while. It's just. Listen, would you be interested in watching more Monday Night Raw from this era?
Absolutely, I would. Obviously, the later episodes when it gets a little bit better. This new generation time was a little, like you said. They also, you mentioned this earlier. They got a couple shows. They banged out a couple shows every Monday. So, they had to conserve where they could, and also have spread it out for those hours of the different episodes. So you have to take that into consideration. I do think this is a point in time, but like when you guys think about it, right? Like we're looking at this in reverse. If you're a kid, if you're 8 years old in 1996 and you're watching this, you probably think you just saw the coolest thing ever. Which probably was my opinion at the time when I watched it originally way back then, right? I think maybe they could have reversed the card and like ended with the Bret and Austin spot. It would have been a little bit more interesting, but they clearly learned from there, and we know why.
Yeah, just in terms of your point there, they would probably put in Bret and Owen on first. So if you are flicking through the channels, 8 o'clock, and then you see Bret Hart comes to the ring, like Owen Hart, like, oh, okay. I think the idea is to get you to watch and then stick with it, as opposed to if you're watching Salvatore Sensei against Rocky Maivia, no offense to them in 1996, or Mark Mira versus Billy Gunn. And you flick over and it's got Rey Mysterio and Psychosis. Like, okay, this is a bit more cooler. So you can see what they're going for. Like you said, JJ, they were just very much in transition.
Yeah, but okay, you're flicking through the channels, you get Bret Hart v Owen, and you go, okay, I'm going to watch this. Follow it up with something good. Like there really wasn't that much after it. You had the Shawn Michaels, and then after that, it kind of died off, and you're like, okay, well, I'm going to switch over now because Eddie Guerrero's over there putting on a fucking clinic, so I'm going to go watch that.
Especially when you're competing against a 2-hour show as a 1-hour show at that time as well.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, I agree. I think we should persevere with this. So that was only episode 7 of our Monday Night War series. So I think we may end up persevering through December's episodes of Monday Night Raw as they build to the big stadium show in San Antonio, where the Heartbreak Kid wins the belt back at the Royal Rumble.
Spoilers.
Ooh.
Every time with the spoilers. How are you going to get these people to keep watching this content if you keep delivering these spoilers, Jackie? Not fair.
They can't Google the results at all.
Sorry. JJ is normally a lot more boisterous, apparently, and he's been very quiet today because of the sleeping child in the room with him. He will be a lot more energetic.
And she's not woken up, so I'm very impressed. So she's staring now.
Clearly put to sleep by Salvatore Sincere. That was episode 7 of the Monday Night War. We'll be back next week for the early December edition of Monday Night Raw, where we will see the build to the Royal Rumble, Bret the Hitman Hart, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and more. Until then, she's been Lissy, he's been JJ, I've been JJ the second. Start that with a lisp. JJ the second, baby. That's the rule of the American dream. Ta-ta for now. See you all later. Bye-bye.
Peace.